Well, good morning, sunshine. How are you doing? Let's see what's going on this beautiful day. Oh my. Oh. Well, looks like we're having another snow day. Guess it's time to do crafts.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as it is another snow day and a foot of snow is falling out there, I thought this would be a great time to make a junk journal for my traveler's notebook. So I like to make mine out of scrapbooking paper, sketchbook papers, and I typically use a standard size insert that I'm not using. This happens to be a planner that I picked up for 75 cents at like a craft store or Joann Fabrics or something like that. And I thought, this would be a perfect time to make a little template for my junk journals and to convert it into something that I really want. So right now I'm picking out the scrapbooking paper that I want to put in here. And I try to pick out a bunch of different themes because I use my junk journal for storing memories and journal entries and art, and I like having a range of moods in there. So I'm folding them in half. That way I can start building up what order the papers are going to be in. Now, I am of the belief that there really is no right or wrong way to make a junk journal. I personally typically add a lot of ephemera to each page. So when I'm making a journal, all of my papers are the same height, but there's just a blend of different types. Like I'm adding browns and grays and cream colored papers along with those scrapbooking patterns, just because I know that I'm going to be adding a ton of different ephemera and washies and ink and everything. So I like to have a more of a blank slate to work with. This particular piece that I'm working with right now, I am going to be putting on the inside covers of the junk journal, just so I can add more to it later. I'm making little areas on the paper to make sure that I can cut it to the right length with my little paper cutter here. I got this sucker from Hobby Lobby at 40% off, and if you intend on doing any paper crafts, I would highly recommend getting one of these. I mean, it is a lifesaver and it has worked so well for me, and I'm going to be using it to not only cut all of these papers to the right size, but to make all the cuts neat and even. Once my inner cover paper is the right length it needs to be to fit, I'm using my other best friend here, which is double-sided tape. Again, you can get this at any craft store. I prefer this over traditional glue because glue, I've always felt like, left ripples on the page, and I have never had a problem with the double-sided tape adding ripples. It goes on very smooth, and I have a lot more control over the sticky situation. Once both pieces of paper were on the inner cover, I just couldn't help myself. I had to put a few stamps in the corners there just to start giving it a little bit of magic. Now at this point, we're going to start forming the inner pages. Again, I'm using sketchbook paper of different colors and scrapbooking paper, but you could use any paper you want, any textured paper or remnants of things. It really depends on you because, like I said, it's a junk journal. I really don't think there's any rules to a junk journal. It's what you want it to be. Now, this is important because I am using the pages of the inside of the insert to figure out how tall these papers need to be, and then going in and making sure they're the right height with my handy dandy little paper cutter there, and then deciding which order they're going to be. So in my case, I wanted like a different color on each page, so I went cream, brown, gray, and then pattern. Now, this is when the insert comes into play. At this point, you should have kept your pages in order. So we're going to use those pages to make a template for our pages because each page is a different length than the page before it. So the pages that were towards the center are going to be thinner than the pages that were towards the outside. So if you cut them each using the pages that were represented, so like page 1 you cut to the length of your first page and so forth, then your pages are not going to hang outside of your cover. So like the center pages aren't going to be longer than your outside pages, if that makes any sense. But trust me, this is an important step. Once you number them in order, you can also keep this for the future, and that way you have a nice template for future inserts. Once you have measured and cut each of the pages based on the order that they were in your template, now we can start putting it back together. Be sure to put them back together in order again so that we have a nice clean cut and a nice clean border after we get this insert all together. And if you couldn't tell and you're curious, my junk journal is 15 pages. Folded over, so 30 pages. So now we're moving on to my favorite part, which is making it whole. I'm using my ruler and using the centimeter side because I make my holes a centimeter apart for something this size. I'm marking where I'm going to be making the holes to sew it all together. Once my markings are complete and my pages are secure, I take my owl, I hope I'm saying that right, A-W-L, my owl, and I'm poking holes to make way for the needle and thread that will be coming in the next step. The supplies I'm using to do this binding is a bookbinding kit that I got from Amazon. I will put a link in the description below. It is a $10 kit. It comes with the owl, it comes with the wax thread, it comes with many needles and a creaser and all sorts of things. I would highly recommend it. So now we are stitching with the wax thread. I use a super basic stitch. I just tie both ends so that way the pages and the ends are secure, and I just stitch up and make sure the pages are nice and secure but still open flat. The more time you take to make nice holes for the needle, the easier this step is going to be. And let me tell you, if you've never done this before, it is so rewarding after you're done and you have a book in your hands, not just a stack of papers. And if you're worried about your stitching being sloppy, don't. It's a junk journal, so if things don't turn out perfect, it just adds more character. Now that we have a book, let's cover it. I've chosen a purple with flowers on it, like a floral pattern, because I thought it would fit the theme of my traveler's notebook pretty well. If you haven't seen that, I have done a flip through of my 2022 setup, and I will make a link right here. But I am cutting and trimming, and then I'm using my handy dandy double-sided tape. So once I've got it to the right size to fold over neatly, I put on that double-sided tape, and then I use the adhesive to put it on the outside of the book. Now all of the hard parts are over. Now it's time to decorate. So I picked out a gold washi, and I just decorated the spine of my insert because I thought it added a little personality. And then one of my favorite things to decorate with is note cards. This is a thank you note I received from my stepdaughter, and I love it so much that I want to keep it with me. So it's going to be part of this junk journal. And I am using some scissors and just like measuring it out to the size that I need for these Tim Holtz frames that I got, because I think it would look really pretty in one of those frames. You can see a little bit of her message back there. It was a long time ago. But I love owls, and I think this would be perfect. Once again, I am using that double-sided tape in order to put the picture on the cover, but when it comes to the frame that's going to go around the owl, I decided to use Mod Podge, you know what I mean, to adhere that to the book cover, just because I thought I needed something a little heavy duty, not just tape. And as you can see, I really globbed it on there. Now, when it comes to sketchbooks, art journals, junk journals, things like that, I always like to have titles for mine, just because I think books like that need titles. So I searched in some Halloween word stickers that I had, and I chose Deep in the Secret Chambers of My Heart for this one. And we're all done. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you make a junk journal yourself, and I hope you get to share what's inside, or if it's a secret, just keep it secret. If you want to see me do more projects, I do a lot of different spooky projects, then feel free to subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.